Next on the agenda is the audience. Audience has the opportunity to ask questions of each candidate, not necessarily just on the 6 questions you had answered, but any questions you have. I only ask that you come up to the microphone.
Come on. I love question and answer.
Ron, earlier you said that you thought we would be better off if we did not have a Director of Economic Development.
Correct.
And I would like you to tell me, or tell us, why you think that would be the case.
Well, I think what you really need is a town engineer. The existing economic developer has not always been friendly to business. And I've heard of this from the businesses themselves. I think we would be better off with a part-time town engineer who can read these plans better and would cost us less and would get things done sooner.
Further questions from the audience? Seeing none, each candidate now will be allowed 3 minutes for a closing statement. Opening was with Fred. Ron, you want to start?
Sure. I just want to say that I started going door to door March 21st, and I've hit 302 houses so far. And it's been my pleasure to speak to many people, and it has not been my pleasure to speak to 2 isolated cases. I grew up in Salisbury. I really like this town. When we were children, it was the most fun place on earth. We would start at the faraway drive-in theater, walk down to the other drive-in theater, and then walk to the beach. And when you went to the beach then, you didn't see another person from Salisbury. It was all outsiders. It was exciting, it was neon, it was the frolics. It was just incredible. I'd like to see Salisbury restored to what it once was, especially in the beach, because this would help us tax-wise getting more businesses in the beach. That's why I'm very interested in seeing what the Thompson Group has in mind. I just want to say another thing, between Fred and myself. My father was his first principal, and his father taught me surveying when I was 15. I liked his father a great deal. If Fred was a bad boy, he probably doesn't feel that good about my father.
Well, I'm happy to say, Ron, that I got to know your father not as a bad boy at the memorial school, but when I was elected to the school committee, he was the deputy superintendent, and he was a great man, and I always enjoyed working with him, and he was an honest shooter, like you said, and you're correct. He is. We've grown up, we've known each other for a long time, and we're very, very fortunate that we had the opportunity to grow up in Salisbury.
Yes, very fortunate. We both got great educations. Salisbury Elementary was voted the #1 elementary school in 1965. I was unaware of this until my father died, and I got all his notes and educational stuff. But and a lot of smart people like Fred. I'm not going to call myself a smart person, but a lot of nice, smart people like Fred came out of the system back then. I haven't heard any complaints about the Salisbury Elementary School. I've heard a few about Triton. I know that the Sparhawk services some children, but I don't think a lot of them are from Salisbury. I think they're from out of town. That's about it, other than he who speaks to you, speaks to me. And he who rejects you, rejects me. And he who rejects me, rejects the one who sent me. Thank you.
Fred?
Thank you, Ron. I got a confession to make. I enjoy being selectman. I will admit, we are not right 100% of the time. That's probably not the easy part of the job. I can think back when you talk about listening to people and people asking for change, when the Conservation Commission had a Salisbury, their own Salisbury Wetland Protection Act, and business owners and residents were very concerned that it was too restrictive, and it was very difficult for businesses to work and for homeowners to get their homes going, and they wanted to change or amend the regulations, and the Board of Selectmen really didn't hear that. The great thing about living in Salisbury is we kind of have a three-tier system of government. You have your town manager, you have your Board of Selectmen, and then you have town meeting. Well, we may not have heard people clamoring for a change as it came to the Local Wetlands Act, but town meeting heard that, and they made sure to vote that out and to stick just to the state regulations. But again, as I spoke earlier, you learn from your mistakes. And what I learned is when the business community and citizens came forward, when the planning board was proposing changes in business regulations and in zoning, the Board of Selectmen dispatched the town manager to work with both the planning board and the beach group and the business group and the citizens to make sure we could work out a compromise and not have two competing bylaws go forward to town meeting. And by the time town meeting rolled around in October of this past year, I believe that vote was unanimous and that the town manager worked successfully in bringing the two parties together. Third, if you're looking for someone who is steady, who can remain calm under pressure, who has the best interest of the town at heart, I think I'm your candidate. And I can also tell you what I believe to be the best job of being selectman is. And that happens every April over there at Lions Park when the baseball and the softball league open their season and we get to throw out the first pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck to the two of you. We'll see you next Tuesday.
You do too.